Okay, so now I'm in the shed here. Well, I guess it's a shed. I don't know. Anyway, can you see the dust? For the life of me, I don't know why there was a bunch of dirt under this, but there was. It doesn't look like the wood is rotten, so why would there be a bunch of dirt? And I don't get it. Where did it come from? Blow in, maybe? I don't know. You can see. Alright, so anyway, I'm brushing everything down. Sweeping, getting it ready to, what do you call it? Spray down. I'm just working on this one particular corner for now. I think I am going to try and put in a floorboard in here. Yep. I'll run a 2x4 here because, you know, every now and then you get a rat, right? On the other side, which has a floorboard, and I did the base beams, everything, right? One rat still got in there, so, but that was only once. And there was obviously a rat in here at one point. Like I said, I didn't clean this last year. So, this year, I am going to, well, you can see what I'm doing. So I think, since I'm here, right, just take the time to, maybe lay a baseboard down, right? And try and secure, I don't know, you know, when it gets cold, they find ways, right? I can take this off and run a beam in here. Like I can, you know, I can do touch-ups. Like, I don't know. It's not too bad in there. Right? It doesn't seem too bad in there. I don't know. Anyway, look what I found. Look at that. See that? I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, it's broken. There we go. That's what's wrong with it. Now we know why it's in there. But maybe I could put that up by the pond after the pond is done. That would look nice. And because it's so thick, right? That's crystal, right? Crystal glass. Because it's so thick, it will stand up with the weather. There's an idea. So anyway, I put everything in a container. You can see. And we'll wash everything down eventually. I don't know how much I'll get done today. I think today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start spraying out, right? And I got the roof here to finish. This up here. So maybe I'll get on this and try and get this all done and make a spot for myself here. See, I got wood, right? I got a few places around here. And get ready to bring out the skill saw maybe tomorrow, providing it's not raining. And, you know, cut my wood for the X Club. Get into here, you know, cut wood, do whatever. I'm here now. Put in a bit of a floorboard. Continue working my way, right? Cleaning, spraying, whatever. There's some Christmas lights. I'll spray them down quickly, wipe them down or something, and maybe plug them in and see if I can get them working. And maybe I'll run a few in the front just for the sake of it, right? Look, see, where is his, I don't know. So anyway, I just want to say, not that I'm giving this stalker any attention, because I'm not, okay. The thing is, you have to keep in mind, she was stalking ShaMay before ShaMay even broke up with Freddie completely yet, people. Okay, she admits it in one of her videos. That's the first thing. And then, at one point, she was stalking Freddie hardcore. Because they broke up, right? After being together for a while. And then, you know, I think the person who stole ShaMay's identity and tried to get credit cards and all that crap back in the day, 2016, right? I think it was Julian's sister who did that. Because at that time, you know, ShaMay was dating Julian. And, you know, when she gets in her little, you know, oh, we did this and we did that. And, yeah, you did all that. And, right, only because you're scandalous and you go to other people's houses to trash them and to cause trouble and all this shit. And that's why, right, there was all those boxes in the living room, so, you know, you couldn't have no place to fucking do your garbage shit, right? And, you know, you tried to do it in ShaMay's room, and, you know, my son tried to kick you guys out, and, you know, Nisa tried to kick you out, everybody tried to fucking kick you out, and, you know, you're just real raunchy, just real fucking raunchy. So anyway, you know, this has been an ongoing issue even before ShaMay started dating Julian, okay? Because she admits leaving tampons, body cream, bobby pins, all that crap in Freddie's fucking bedroom after she had sex with Freddie, I guess on her period, right? Like she couldn't wait. And she left it specifically so that ShaMay would find it. So that tells you something right there, people. It tells you she was stalking ShaMay. And then she got mad when Julian started seeing ShaMay because Julian didn't get this girl's permission. She says that too. All right? You have to listen to what she says. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is she was stalking ShaMay, she was stalking Freddie, and now she's stalking me. Okay? Because it's in her character. She can't control herself. It's like OCD. Right? Obsessive compulsive disorder. Right? So, you know, just keep that in mind. Right? I mean, obviously, I got shit to do than to be worrying about a fucking schizophrenic. So, I'll be back. Okay. So, it is now September... What is it? 20th, I think. Okay. So, you can see... Right? Smells good in here. It doesn't smell like mold or nothing. However, I have to do repairs. We know that. Right? I'm going to put in a floorboard. So you can see, right? This is all black walnut. Okay? And I have a trunk that my son can help me bring in here, which will be great after the fact, right? Because then I can put those bags into the trunk, cover it, and it will help to insulate, because this is black walnut, right? It gets too damp. It has its own fungi, right? And this is not, it hasn't been painted or nothing, so this is like the real deal stuff, right? So you got to keep it. It's okay if it gets cold, but you can't let it get moist, right? So anyway, right, looking pretty good. Okay, everything's nice and clean now, you can see. Right, I cleaned up this bottom shelf anyway. This is lava rocks, obviously in a bag, never been used for anything. So I thought I'd leave those ones maybe one day for a science experiment with Andre to teach him how to filter water, and we could use lava rocks to do that. Haven't done anything on this side, but that's not what I'm worried about. You can see there's a bin there. I'm curious to know what's in there because it's got a lid. That would be a perfect bin for black walnut. So at some point, not today, I'll have to pull this all out and go through it, okay, and see if I can get that bin, because honestly, I don't know what's in there anymore. We know there's something in there, though, because there's a lid on it. Right? So that's my chore for the day. You can see, right? And then, of course, I've got more kicking around. So eventually, anything that's black walnut, for the most part, in bins and in the, what is it called? Trunk, you know, will all be in here. So not all of it, but the majority of it when it comes to the wood and the bark and the nuts and that kind of stuff, right? The ink powder I have stored someplace else. And then, yeah, I have to do, like, this is wobbly. Can you see? Right, so I'm gonna take this all out today. Get these, whatever they are, out. Right, take off this. Get in there. Right, get up in here, lay another tarp. Move this stuff, lay another tarp. Lay down those foamy things. Oh, I don't need a flashlight for that. And then, try and get this done over the next couple of days. Right? Just keep moving along. You can see I stuck that in the ground. Stuck that in the ground. Right? Now we'll check these tomatoes, people. So this is when... Oh, I had a title for this video. Now I forgot what I was going to call it. But, you know, I'm being cut up because I'm working outside. You work outside like it's a job. Well, yeah, it is a job. If anyone works outside, they would know that. If you have a yard, and you do something with your yard, right? You're required to fix things and that kind of stuff. So these lights are still burning, so it's fairly warm in here. It's just not getting no sun on that plant. It's completely died. Can you see that? It's dead. The other ones are doing okay though. Right? And then, I probably walked into the spider already. Anyway. And then went to my corner store, and this lonely plant was there. So I don't know. It was only $3. I thought I'd put it in there for $3. Give it a chance. Right? You can join the family, you know, kind of thing. Replace the one that's over here dying for whatever reason. So they're all working, and you can feel it a little bit, right? I have to do this, but before I do any of that, and I got to tape it down better, I got to get the wood and start hammering, right? Because, you know, winter's coming. The plastic, you see, there's the boards right there. You see, since I'm cutting today, that's what I have to do, people. You see those long, thin ones? You just take those. The ladder is still here, so I have to cut that today. Just walk through a spider web, take it from one there to one there. Get off there! Do you see what happens, man? Why? Why are they attracted to be up on the freaking roof of the greenhouse? That was a cat! See? And I've been washing shit, you know, washing all the planter pots, putting them away, you know, washing things that, for whatever reason, you know, needs, right? Because these are lids. Just washing. I washed those fridge magnets, just washing. So, getting on with it. I couldn't come out here yesterday, per se, because it was kind of raining. So, pull everything out, get a quick measure, right, and try and put in a floorboard. Pull this all out. Right, look at this beautiful marble. Okay, I'm going to put that out in the front. I'm not sure. Here's some more. Do you see? Look. That's all marble. Here's another one. Marble. I'd like to put it around the pond somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. Right? Okay, hold on. Okay. So, considering all things said in this little room here, it's not bad, people. I'm telling you, it's not bad. It smells okay. Now, for the life of me, I don't know why. If you notice, I had to rip the plastic, right? I don't know why there was a bunch of wood. Not wood, I'm sorry. What looked like dirt. I don't know what it was. But if you notice this, if you notice that, that's not rotting out. So what would do that? I mean, obviously, you can see. There it is. Can you see? Right? I missed some. Like, what is that? Like, I don't understand. Where am I? I don't understand what this is. Let's see if we can go this way. What are we looking at? Anyway, you can see, it looked like dirt. It was so dusty. And there was a whole bunch. Obviously, I ripped it out and I let it fall to the ground. And I'm like, what the fuck? The roof rotted out. And it's not, people. It's not the roof. So, hey, okay. I don't know. Cats. So, anyway. Now, there's a dip in the floor here. Jesus. I always was there. Right? But that's okay. See those morning glory roots? That's morning glory. Good old morning glory. I'm pulling out morning glory all over the place. It just keeps on growing, never quits. better than it used to be. Now, the thing is, okay, now this is how I'm going to do it. I don't want to put a floorboard in here, people. I don't want to put a floorboard in here. Okay? No, because once you do that, you have to run the screen. I mean, I do have one screen. I do. That I could lay down here before I put wood on top of it. Because even if you made this airtight, basically with just wood, right? That kind of stuff. If the rats wanted to get in here bad enough, they'll chew. They'll chew up from the ground. That's why when you make hen houses and those kind of things, you have to have screen on the bottom and then dirt. Right? Plus they can chew through wood. Rats can chew through anything, really. I think they came in here, one, because it was warm, and two, I had seeds in here for garden. Because when I got in here and started pulling stuff out, they ate it. So, well, they ate most of it. What was up in that corner, I have no clue. I don't know what would have done that outside of the wood rotting, and the wood didn't rot. So obviously I'm going to put plastic back up in that corner, right? You know, tape it, or I'm going to staple it and that type of thing. And in terms of the floor, the easiest and the fastest way, right? Because you have to remember, I don't get no love for this, right? For some people, this is not important. But when you have a house and you need to store things, this is important, okay? And I've gone this far with it, I might as well touch it up. You see, it's in there too. So, I don't know what that is. It looks like dirt, but hard to say. Okay, so anyway, I should, because I am using up shit, so why not? That whole screen probably would go from one corner, honestly, if I pulled out this corner and be done with it. Spray out this corner too. I could probably run that whole screen right to this way, and it's going to be only shy of my foot, because the screen is about that wide, and it's made specifically to prevent rodents from chewing up from the ground. Okay, did that with my shed, did that with Mr. Lace's pen. I have part of that in the hen house area, and I've got one sheet left, and I can put it in here, just boom, bam, bing. And then I can take my miscellaneous plywood, because it's pretty rectangular-ish, outside of this little corner here, you can see. Just, right, piece, and you're good. That's how I'm going to approach this problem. And then I'm going to take other miscellaneous boards that I have around the yard, and I'm just going to hammer them, right, reinforce, right, fix this one wall, right, see, take something here so nothing can crawl in and put it there, right, and then I'm going to get my son to bring in that big trunk, and that's how I'm going to store the walnut wood and the bark and that type of thing, along with other bins. We've got the shelf to have a little bit of, try and make it organized, and so on. And then this is going to be a wonderful little room, no matter what people say, right? Because I get ragged on this, people. Let me get a smoke. Hold on. Okay, it's not the X Club, I know. Right? It's an extension of the X Club, right? This is where we keep our products, right? Like I said, I'm going to move in the majority of the walnut wood and those kind of things. Those kind of things, right? In here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say what I have to say, and then I'm just going to get on with it. My big goal for the day, well, obviously now I have to pull out that shit, right? That creates more pile of work, and then, you know, blah, 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 but whatever. It just makes more sense to use the one sheet than to cut it, right? I'll be done with it, and it's one thing less I have to use. And it gives me an opportunity to get into that bin there and see what's in there, because there might be something really not significant. Maybe I was just wanting, whatever. We'll find out. I'll show you when I open it up what's in that bin. I want the bin. I don't care what's inside right now unless it's really something important. But other than that, I want the bin for the walnut art. I've been working too many years on Andre's walnut art to give up now, people. Like, I'm getting so close, right? In terms of building, you know, a so-called website. Right? I'm a little nervous about that, though, because of the gang stalking that my family's experiencing. But, you know, can't let that stop you from trying to encourage Andre to do something positive with his life and utilize things around him. And that was the whole purpose of those walnut trees. So, but the thing is, I don't get any recognition, not that I'm looking for it, people. I just don't like it when people go on to the attack mode and then try and sit up there and say, I don't do shit. Or, I work in this yard like it's a job. And whereas I should be doing other things. When in fact, I live a dual life and we already know that. And there's only so much that I can do in a day. And so far, I think I got my bases pretty well fucking covered. I could feed my family for a year, people, without going to the grocery store, literally. Okay? At best, I would go to the corner store, buy eggs, milk, onions, right? Just a few little things like that. And I could feed my family for a year. Okay, that's base number 1 covered. Number 2, you know, I can grow food and continue to supply it without having to go to the grocery store. So that's like a big, that in itself right there is a big feat when you're actually raising a family, okay? In terms of, you know, it's not just, you know, in the immediate. It's something that I've been doing for years. And obviously I have a family that's dependent on me, right? So, and then the second thing is, you know, I need to work in this yard because if I don't, people hold it against me for their own ulterior motives. And there's a variable of motives in there, right? And I don't get a lot of help. I'm not saying cutting the grass or spending a day out in the front moving things around wasn't helpful. But at the end of the day, it's not stuff like this that needs to be done. Because if I don't do... I was supposed to do this last year, people. And I let it slide. Because of I had Amari. And I had to look after Amari, okay? With very little help in terms of the days that I needed to put into the yard. We're talking 10 to 12 hours a day. Because when you have a yard, okay, and you're doing things and growing things and storing things and, you know, that kind of stuff, there are like such things as called general maintenance. Well, what I'm doing right now is general maintenance that's, you know, taken up a few of my days, right? This will be my second full day that I will spend in here. And then as soon as this is done, I'm going to finish this one little top of the roof with that vinyl siding, right? And then because I'm not really happy with what I'm seeing with how it's working in terms of the shit that when the rain and it all, you know, I mean, it's, so far I don't think it's leaking. But I have a tarp under it. So I got to put a little tarp under this because this room doesn't leak too much either, right? And once I work on it and make it more airtight, right, it's going to leak even less if it was leaking at all. Because it's water that creates the most damage. Whether it's actual water running and it gets into things and makes everything saturated, or whether it condensates on things, right? And then you know you get your molds and that type of stuff growing, okay? If the air can be cold as long as it's not damp, right? So, and the only way you're going to get dampness is by having water infiltrate the environment. But just because you have an leaky X club or a leaky shed doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't be grateful to have what you have. Because there's thousands of people would love to be in this room right now just thinking about putting on a freaking floorboard so that they can store their stuff, right? Because they don't have it. And I don't like it when I get beat up over it. Not beat up, but, you know, criticized. Criticized for being out here doing this shit so that I can keep the, what? Is it a broken dream? Or is it a treasure? Andre's walnut art alive. Which one is it, people? Is it broken dreams or is it a treasure? At this point, it's still a fucking treasure, right? But it's like anything in life. If you don't invest into it, you work towards it, that type of stuff, you're never going to get it. And at this rate, with this room, it's not that bad considering everything and who's worked on it over the years and the history of this room, which is like a little offshoot to the X Club. Right? It's functioning up, it's holding up pretty damn good. And I'm impressed. It's just I'm made to feel guilty, one, for working in here to make it better so that I can clean up the yard of the walnut wood, right? I get criticized for it. But if I don't do it, things just get ruined, right? And it's more for people to talk about. Oh, look at that room. Yeah, well, shit happens, right? Leaky sheds, shit happens. But I'd rather have a leaky shed than no shed. And I've got the screen to lay down the screen. I just have to move that. That's going to take my whole day, right? But then I lose a day on the inside. And then I become impotent. I become, I have my priorities in the wrong spot, right? In terms of what it means to be a woman, right? So when you get criticized for the shit that you do, you know that it's important, right? And you can see the long-term goal around it, right? And you're grateful to even have that opportunity to have that goal and to be able to exercise on that goal. And you got people nattering in your ear telling you that you're not good enough and that your priorities are in the wrong spot, right? And that you treat things like as if it was a job, even though you should be getting paid for it, but you don't. So therefore, you're just a stupid bitch. Because why are you wasting your time when the people who are criticizing you can't even look past their own damn noses and see the value in what you're doing? Okay? This is where you just gotta suck it up and fucking do it. And then you get the pleasure of standing back and saying, yeah, this is nice, because after it's done, let me tell you, this is what I'm going to do. Because I'm winterizing it, people. After this is done, in the next day or 2 or 3, I'm getting one of those hanging lamps, because this is how you do it, okay? Because it's damp in here. I can feel it. I can see it, right? You get one of those extension, those outside hanging lamps, right? The workman's lamps, right? Lights, right? I should have an extra one. I've got one in the X Club. I don't really want to move it, but I should have another one around the house somewhere, and I'm going to look for it. And then I'm going to hang it in here for a couple of days. Just let it burn. Because by hanging it in here for a couple of days after it's all been cleared out and everything's done and you're good to go, and right, you just hang that light for a few days, 3, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it may be, just a couple days, right? And it will dry out the air, and it will kill off any mildews that are starting to form before winter kicks in. Okay, because you don't want the mildews forming too much, because then they turn into molds. So if you control the mildew, right, before it forms into an actual mold, you're good. And the light itself will just help to dry out the room a little bit. And this room will be as snug as a bug. And then next year, I won't have to worry about it. I'll just be able to come in here and say, okay, Andre, here's our stock. What are we going to do with it? And then maybe, hopefully, by that time, my yard will be a little more just, the way we want it, right? That's why I'm working so hard on it right now, people. Like, I'm prepared to work in the fucking winter time with the fucking snow out here if I have to finish it by the end of the year. For the most part. In terms of bricks and any sawing and hammering and fixing and installing windows, that's the kind of stuff, and a little bit of garage stuff, right? That's what I want done. by the end of the year. And I'm already getting in my head, like, you might have to do this and when it's fucking cold outside, Judy, but you're going to have to suck it up. As you've got those people nattering in your ear, accusing you of being irresponsible for working in a yard that you don't get paid for. Because that's what I fucking face in this stupid house, and I'm sick of it, trust me. Okay, because it's not easy. There's nothing easy about what I do. But I do it for my family. When I started it, I did it for my family. I am sorry that half of the family is fucking gone. I'm not the one that created that issue, but I'm still here for my family. And if you don't want to be a part of that family, then don't be a part of that family, because as it is right now, this is all I got, people. And I try to look after things that I have, right? And I try and improve my environment where I can, but not everything can get done in a fucking day, especially when, you know, you're on some freaking train wreck that, you know, you're, what do you call it? Trying to control. Right? I like this room. It's nice. Other side is drier. But I always spent more time on that side in terms of nurturing it more than this side. But this side, I'm going to really nurture it now. Yeah. It's going to be a cool little room. Yeah, it's going to be hopping next year. I got a little layup, the X-Club painting with her painting easels, and she'll have her play table, and I'll pull out little bugs this, and have a little fish tank, and do all kinds of crazy crap in there. You know, that's fun. Have Andre out here drilling holes through his walnut wood so he can make his walnut necklaces, because that's what he wants to make. He thinks people would like to buy his walnut necklaces. I have everything I need, people. I have the real leather to go through the nut. Okay? One nut, string of leather. There you go. That's one product on Andre's Walnut Art website. And then maybe I might even have some time to start writing these little children's books. And I so want to write some songs and play a little bit of guitar, but I'm so busy, right? Because I'm always in the yard. You know, like, where's the balance, right? There is no balance right now because I've lost too many family members, right? And the burden falls on my shoulders as I try and hold my family together in what little environment that I have to keep us close. As Uncle John would say, we stick together as a family, right? Oh my God. Amari is getting more and more mobile. That's something I have to do today. I have to grab this baby crib rail, scrape it down with a scraper, and then bring it inside and give it a quick sand. And I want to paint it. And then put it along the bed because he's like moving. He pushed off all of his pillows and blankets. And yeah, he's getting stronger. And much more alert. I'm so happy with him, right, in terms of his development. It's really sad that he can't stand. I don't know why. I just feel like his back was broken at birth, but I mean, I don't know if I'd ever get the truth on that one, right, people? You know. I mean, he apparently has major brain damage up in here. It's amazing that he's doing the things that he's doing, right? Yeah. And costing me a lot of money for childcare, too. I'm paying people to watch Amari for me, right? When I'm out here wasting my time working for free. And then told I'm not doing good enough. You'd think those days would be gone, eh? But I think as a parent, I think in this day and age with the cell phones and all this other shit, and computers and just everybody a fucking computer Rambo or whatever it is, I just think a lot of parents are going through this. I don't think I'm the only one. As a matter of fact, even my grandmother went through this shit with her kids. They expected too much and gave too little back. And the one that did give back, like my mom, do all that stuff for my grandma, used to do her, painting for her and her wallpaper and, you know, went into her basement, and my mom and her friends, they went down into my grandmother's basement, and they built a suite into my grandmother's basement. My mom did that for my grandmother for nothing. But she died at 45. She was the first one to go. And I was thinking, and I'm going to end it on this, I was thinking about that just the other night, like 2-3 nights ago, because I miss ShaMay all the time, right? We all do, right? And I tried to explain to Andre that, you know, people die at different ages and that there is no guarantee in life. We just don't know, right? Some people get to live a long time. Some people don't get to live very long like Auntie ShaMay. Some people even die younger than ShaMay. And, you know, I'm like in my head trying to justify what I'm telling my grandson by saying, well, gee, you know, your mom died young too. 45 isn't very old when you consider, you know, 70, 80 years old to be the average lifespan of the Canadian, right? I mean, why did your mom have to die at 45? What is the difference between age 45 and age 22, right? And then I ask myself, I say, well, why is it that you feel different with the death of, you know, your uncles, your grandmother, your aunts, your mother, right? You weren't as affected as you are with ShaMay dying and Ciera, right? Ciera was a little easier, it's a little easier to cope with because she had struggled for so long with her addiction and came to death so many times that, you know, emotionally and mentally and everything, we were all prepared for her to die because she was just out of control, right? And no, there was no available resources to really stabilize her. And, you know, we had been frightened so many times, and we were expecting her to die. So when she died, it wasn't a big surprise outside of what the police did, and then they had to make it ugly and suspicious, right? With corruption, okay? But with ShaMay, it came out of nowhere outside of that dream that I had, people. But of course, I brushed off that dream, didn't take it serious because it was a dream. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to warn ShaMay. It wasn't like I was trying to give ShaMay advice on how to deal with a bad relationship, And at the end of the day, she fucking died, right? And then, you know, I don't want to get into how she died at this point, but I'm left, you know, having to have a full plate, trying to keep the family together, not lose the house, make sure that they can feed themselves if something happens to me, and they don't lose the house within a month, because I'll tell you, people, if something happens to me and I die, they can live in this house for a year and sustain themselves with the income that comes a little bit from my life insurance money, right? And the food and everything else that's in this house. They don't have to move out the next month just because mom died. That is important, okay? So I have to maintain on that path, right? Because I'm almost 60 years old, being basically worked to death as I'm being criticized with it, right? And, you know, because I've lost children. They're not here to help me, people, right? The only ones that are here to help me is Tisha and Marcaine. Marcaine is capable of only doing so much. And Tisha is only capable of doing so much because, you know, she wants her own life. She got blindsided, didn't expect her sister to die, and then have to face looking after a disabled child who's going to get extremely heavy over a period of time all by herself after I'm dead. Right? This is the seriousness around my life. Now, if I can't live here in a few years from now because Amari outgrows the house, do I have any regrets doing everything that I've done in this yard? Hell no. No. God bless my landlady. If it helped you to, you know, get more money, then so be it. Because for me, it helped me to provide happy life learning experiences to Andre. It's so important that he has those memories, people. My kids had a happy childhood. It didn't get unhappy until later on. And there were triggers in there that provoked the mayhem and the dysfunction everything that came along with the last few years, right? It wasn't because I was a bad individual, hell no, right? It was because it was provoked by other individuals who had nefarious reasons. So, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm left holding the bag as the parent, people, right? I'm still parenting. And I think, you know, for those parents that are struggling, saying, well, why am I doing this? Nobody appreciates me. You know, they expect me to do that and they expect me to do that, but yet they're not helping me or whatever. They're just criticizing or whatever it is that you're going through, and you just want to give up. You can't. You can't give up. You got to look around you, see what you have for tools, see what you have for resources, and build yourself something nice, right? And then even if you have to walk away at a later date down the line because you have a dependent child that requires a different living environment, and that's the sacrifice you have to make, well, then so be it, right? Because when you walk away, you yourself get to say you did your best, you did a damn good job, and you're proud of what you did. Because I'm proud of this little shed. Even though it is what it is, I like it. And I like the future direction of it in terms of, now I'm going to get off the video. I'm going to pull all this shit out now that I know what I'm doing with that screen, right? I'm going to just, you know, give it a sweep, see what's in there. If I have to, I'll spray it down. I'm going to get the screen, and when I get the screen down on the ground, I'm going to come back with the camera, and I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to just take straight up plywood. I'm going to lay it flat up on top, and it's boom, bam, bim, bing, bam, boom. And you're going to see by the end of the day, I'll probably have this thing mostly done. And then I look for a light. I dry it out for a few nights. Fix up that fucking roof. Yeah. And then as I'm going these little bits of whatever I'm doing in here, I'm starting to move stuff off of Mr. Lace's house. I'm going to put it off over there. And I'm going to cut wood and start, finish on that one too. And then in the next few days, probably get up into the X Club and continue working on that. And then you're going to see within 2 weeks how it's all going to come together. And yes, I will continue to make applesauce. And yes, I will probably do some of these grapes. I'll look at them in the next day or two. Call up my landlady. She can come get a whole whack of them. She likes them, right? You know, I don't really need too much, right? And it's just one day at a time. And I live for every minute, people. Okay. So, see? Almost done. Right? Look at that. It's pretty nifty. It's been sitting in here for years, people. Years and years and years. But you see. So take this all out. Right? Wipe this down. Wood bugs and stuff. Rat crawling around. Remember I told you I had a whole bunch of Christmas lights? And here they are. The only problem is, leaky X Club. leaky. But those ones are still good. So I'm happy to find those. I'm going to see. Every year for the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever, I've been wanting to run Christmas lights in the front, but I never have no time. This I keep because this stuff is good, right? If you need to wrap up and brace something. So that's why I keep it. And then, look, Andre's old hamster cage. Remember we had a little mouse that Andre caught one time in there? Oh, I'm still saving it. So I'll take all this out. Hold on. Okay. So this is what's going on. 6-year-old woman with toys. All the time toys. I don't know what kind of toys these are, but there's some kind of toys. And then in here was obviously for camping. But this bin will be better for black walnut. And the camping I'll keep very close by, handy, because my son is always, when the yard is not the way it is right now, because he can't use the fire pit, but when he can use the fire pit, he's always out there with the fire pit with Andre, right? So I'll put a nice little camping bucket right here. Only I'm going to take this bin, and I may have a lid for this bin. I just have to look around, which will make me happy. So you're probably wondering why I have a spit can. Well, back in the day, in my Value Village days, it was there. And that was when all my kids were around. And I wanted to do a little skit. You know, just something for fun for YouTube. So I kind of bought it for YouTube, honestly, to make a little skit, like a little movie with my kids or something. It never happened, but whatever. This, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I wouldn't put anything long-term storage, I don't think, for like beans and whatever. I'm not sure. I don't know. Any suggestions? Would I just use it? Keep it for emergency purposes. Right? Maybe as a collector when you filter water. There's an idea. Right? I have a really big funnel too. I offered the funnel to my son. He's, oh, I don't need it, but hold on. I'll dig out the funnel, and then that will be our base to collect water that's been filtered. Right? There's an idea. Just right. Okay. See? Can you see? Alright, so I'll take my staple gun. I'll just staple that on. I mean, obviously, I told you I was off by a bit. 1 foot. Right? See? Did I tell you? I got an eyeball for this kind of stuff. See? But that's okay. It's one less thing in the yard that's of good purpose. Now, I get my tape. I measure. I find wood. I'm just putting it right on top. It's good enough for me. I have some other screen around the yard. Honestly, I should just cut it in. Like I'll show you. Hold on. So, you see, for the ones that like to criticize me for whatever fucking reason, because that's the kind of generation we live in these days. Right? I don't care who it is. I'd like to see them get up here and do this shit. Honest to God. They probably couldn't even fucking use a skill saw. Never mind building a subfloor of any kind. Now that was pretty damn easy. And for what it was worth, it was good. So you see, now mind you, if there was a rat that wanted to get in here, it could. But being that I got all this to go, which I'm gonna now just do it anyway, I've decided to do it. I can bring the next piece up. Right up over this. And I can run a bit more in there. And then I can lay down my floorboard. Right. I'll do something in here too, a little bit. It's worth the effort. I don't know about in there. But anyway, some effort is better than no effort. I'm telling you, it's my lucky day. It's going fast, people. Do you see? Now I just have to get some wire cutters. Start up over there. Clip my way. Oh, look how nice. All the way down. And then just clip a bit in there. And I'm good to go. I'm done. Didn't take... Oh, and then a little bit in here. Do a little bit, just to be on the safe side. Alright, do it now while you can, because once you put your floorboard on, that's it. Can't do nothing. So yeah, no regrets making this shed. It's pretty nice, actually. Alright. It's not that bad, considering all things set. You go back into my videos in 2011, you'll see the beginning stages of it. Uncle John and I, we used to laugh. What? Oh, I'm talking in the camera. I'm talking about how Uncle John and I used to laugh when we started to build this, because we didn't know what we were doing. Eventually, I had to hire Dan. And I think there was another fella who worked on this. I'm cutting. This looking nice. It's going to be really nice. Yep, I'm making it really nice for you.
Let me come in and see.
Okay, you come and see. Amarie's out in the yard. Right. Andre's watching him for me right now. Right. It's nice outside. Yesterday.
It looks empty.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to store the walnut wood in here until we're ready to do something. Make your website and write those stories and stuff.
Okay.
And this is where we're going to put all the wood, the bark, those kind of things.
Okay.
So easy to find and organize and then set up to figure out how we're going to disperse them. You can make your walnut necklaces. I was telling them about it, that you want to make walnut necklaces.
Is it on?
Yeah. I'm wasting people's time. They're watching my video, watching me cut, listening to me cut string, or screen, I should say. But you came and you interrupted me, so I'm letting the camera go a little longer, right? I was saying this is a time where you just have to remind yourself that patience is a virtue, right?
Well, it is.
It is a virtue when you're doing something that you don't necessarily find enjoyable, as if I like struggling with chicken wire, right? But this shed doesn't smell. Can you smell? It doesn't smell, does it?
No.
I know.
It smells like it's just brand new.
Well, yeah, it smells pretty fresh considering all things said. So, after all these years, that's not too bad. That says something, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just, my problem is, because I'm, you know, small, right? I don't have a lot of physical strength compared to you know, somebody that's twice my weight or more. So, like sometimes when I use this,
Yeah, that's wrong with that.
when I use this is made for a man's hand. That's a stapling gun. I have to oftentimes use two hands just to use it. Stuff like that. But you can't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. Right? And then that's when you draw on that patience. And you remind yourself patience is a virtue.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's worth putting in the extra half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it's going to take to lay down this screen the way it should be done. Then not do it at all and have another rat get in. Now, is this going to stop rats from getting in? No, not necessarily, because if they want to get into something, they'll chew through it. But it's a big deterrent, right? And unfortunately...
Hey, if a hornet wanted to make a nest in here, it could.
Yeah.
Because see the holes? It could just go like through there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. The battery's gonna die. I'll go recharge this. Now you have to take wire, right? And connect the two together. And, you know. So I'll cut this one. I'm gonna run this one, fit that one in, give it a quick wire, and then I'm gonna go on to the floorboards. See? Right. It didn't take that long, people. Right? You can see. Alright, so now I'm going to run the wire in between fast. Right, set that up in there, run the wire in between fast, and then start taking some boards, cutting all the way around, do whatever. I'll be back. Okay. I'm kind of in a dilemma here, people. Okay, you see, it seems so dark. There, maybe that's better. I don't know. Can you see me, or are we getting shadow? Okay, so all the screen is done. I wired it up. I didn't want to, but that's the best thing to do, right? I don't know. I don't know if this is recording good or what's going on. It just seems awfully dark. Alright. So now I'm debating whether I should put an actual floorboard in here before I before I lay down the wood. Because what's going to happen here is, unless I can put a, what is it called? A gutter along through here on the outside, which I don't know if I can do that. I have a small gutter. I might be able to, right? And catch the water and have it run over there versus backdrafting into here because it drops. I did try to give it a lip, but I'm noticing this post over here is rotting out, so I'm going to have to reinforce it just a bit, right? Hold on. Oh my god, I almost started choking there. I took a sip of that coffee and it went down my windpipe. Because I'm all hot and sweaty. I almost choked to death. I can see the tears coming down my nose, my eyes. My nose is running. This shit's not easy to do, people. It's really not. But whatever. I'm still drinking coffee. Right. The roof is not very high. If I put a floorboard in subboards, if I put subboards in, then the floorboard, versus taking the wood, but it's going to move because I'm not going to be able to attach it to anything. And if it rots out because it's on the ground and it starts rotting from the ground up, right? Because again, water is going to flow in and probably pool in here, especially when it's pouring rain. So technically, I should put a subboard in, subfloor. They're called subfloors, right? Technically, I should run some form of subfloor in here, and then lay my boards on top of that, because then I have beams to hammer them in. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to hammer shit in here. And things are going to shift and move and rot faster than if it was sitting on a subfloor. Right? Because the subfloor will absorb the moisture before it attacks your plywood, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? Which obviously is more work. That side has the subfloor. Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. And I think Nana's going to have to put a subfloor in this.
Yeah, today, right?
No, today. I'm going to start cutting wood now. Now that the screen is done, I have to get on with it. I'm going to have to get up into the hen house area and grab some of those beams. So I don't know if Matilda's living in there. So I got 2x4s in there that I can use.
You do know Matilda's living that.
Yeah, but I think she's moved on. I haven't seen her for a while.
I have.
Well, if she's in there, she'll growl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you better not.
Mm-hmm. I need the wood. I want to get on with it. The job is half done already, see? So, now this one is not technically the screen you want, because a mouse could go through that.
You mean like scratch through here?
No, a mouse could go through those holes there, but it will definitely keep out.
Those holes are way too small.
Not for a mouse. That's why you're supposed to use 1/4 inch. But I'm just using what's around. So anyway, I don't care about a mouse. It was rats that are getting into these things, not mice.
Did you find a rat?
There was telltale signs of a rat being in here at one point.
How?
Because it was shit all over the place. Now to clean it out. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to have to do, people. I'm just going to have to build in the subfloor. Right, which will bring it up another, 3.5 inches or so. 3 inches. That's okay. You know, some little shed is better than no little shed. Like I can, if I don't put in a subfloor, my head isn't touching the roof. But in light of that, and then here, you can see I tried to extended out, right? So when the water comes and it drops, it going in here, where am I? But it's kind of backdrafting a bit. Plus I plant plants in here. But I want to look around and see if maybe I can put a little, well, easel from, anyway, from maybe from this point. Not easel, gutter. From this point to that point. I think I have a small gutter for that. Hold on. Audrey's taking out nails. This is all came in from the hen house area. See, you end up injuring yourself. This is the old floor from downstairs in the basement. Right? I was going to put it in here. I've been sitting here for, what, a year and a half now? For what I need, it will work out perfectly fine. It doesn't seem like Matilda's in here because nothing's been growling. I'm grabbing up this wood, you can see. Right. So this is good. It worked out pretty good for me, people. I'm actually happy. Believe it or not. Right? Yes, I am. You see all my nice, beautiful black walnut stumps my son brought home for me? Oh, I can hardly wait to cut those. So anyway, now we're getting it up into here. See, here and here are three or four different hen boxes. Right? This could be a chicken coop. Right? Look at this. You know how expensive wood is? Here's a nice one. This one I'll use for Mr. Lace's lettuce house, or maybe upstairs in the X Club. Oh God, something crawling on me. Okay, I think I have just enough for what I need for this floorboard. Oh, there's another board there. You want to take out those nails right there. This one is 2x4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see I'm working as fast as I can. Okay, nothing fancy. I'm having to put little slats or whatever underneath some of these beams, right? Because of the slopes. But at the end of the day, it's all getting covered up, right? Okay, nothing too fancy. You can see. Okay. Now I have to cut that wood. Right, I may put in a few more, just small pieces here. But I'm going to start measuring out that old flooring from the basement. And that's what I'm going to use to cover this up. I kind of had to piecemeal it together because it's all floppity-flop in there right now. But it's sort of level. So when I put the wood on top, it should be fairly okay. Not bad. That's the best I can do. Whew. Right. I'll just take some 2x4s or something later and put them in there. Right. I'm trying to go with the path of least resistance here. You can see, I'm not no guru when it comes to this kind of stuff. Whew. Now that one had vinyl on it. The other one doesn't. But that's okay. It's not costing me anything. Just a little bit of sweat. Okay. Nothing is perfect. Right? I'm going to need, I think, just a few more little cross beams in here. Right? Just go around the yard, look for some stuff. This one's nice and sturdy. This one's not going anywhere because it wedged up into that corner. Right? This is pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. And I've got a floor covering from something that somebody threw out one time. That's stuff I really like, but it's so expensive to buy. Now, I've got this little piece yet, but I still have a bit of wood, so I don't know. It's starting to get dark. So I may have to cut this one off. It might be easier just to cut this off and just put one big piece in here. Do you see? And then, right, so hold on a minute. Okay, so what would you do? That was one piece from that. It already has the vinyl on it. I just cut off the little bit that was hanging off the edge. Here, I'll just Mickey Mouse in this corner for what it's worth. Right? Just later, tomorrow, finish it up. Just a few pieces, and then I can Mickey Mouse in there, and then just, whatever. It's just a fucking corner, right? For what it's worth, people. Do you see? But I think it just needs a couple more little slats. Not this one. This one's solid. This one is really solid. This one here, not so much. So I think I'm going to call it quits for today because it's getting dark. I can't see, right? It's getting dark outside. Have a smoke. And then I'm going to end it. Right. Can't really see me. It's dark. But once it's done, people, it's done. It'd be so much better. No regrets. Right? It's gonna be nice. Tomorrow will be easy peasy. Today wasn't even really that bad either. And like I said, I'm clearing out wood and doing miscellaneous this and miscellaneous that. And so I'm feeling pretty good about it, right? And I'm glad I have it, people, because the cost of wood is very, very, very expensive these days. That's what I'm being told. Right, looks like I lost my lighter. Hold on. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, the cost of wood is extremely expensive. So, I consider myself to be very lucky. Well, if I'm lucky, which I've been lucky so far with this stuff, I'll have enough to finish Mr. Lettuce's lace house. Mr. Lace's lettuce room. Right. And the X Club. And I've got around the greenhouse that base covered. Right? I've got some really nice trim, right? I'm just doing the hard stuff first. And then once it's done, I'll finish off that little roof tomorrow, hopefully. Right? And I'll see if I can, well, I still have to do this, but that's easy enough. And I'll see if I can put on a little gutter for here. And I have pipes, gutter pipes. So maybe I can run a gutter pipe on the side so all the water goes that way, down and out. Right? Versus straight down and underneath this. I mean, it's still gonna go, right? But it won't be flooding, right? When it pours. Oh. Skill saw. But I go into the zone, you know. I'm like, okay, just whatever you do when it kicks, just hang on to it like a, what is it called? A bucking bronco. Right? Don't let the bull buck you off. Yeah. So I'll start again tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to put shit in here. Just leave it. What? Is somebody going to come steal walnut wood? Okay. Toys. Toys and hamster cages. Right. Basically, we know what's going to happen in this room. Alright. For the most part. Get a handle on this walnut wood. You know, people, I did it for Andre's sake. And now that I'm halfway there, I kind of have to finish it with him, right? So, This is going to be a nice little room. Next time I'm out and about at Canadian Tire, I'll buy a light for in here. So it's easy enough to plug it in when we want it, right? Because it's dark. Even in the daylight, it's dark. But I'll put a light in here that's always in here, right? So that when we want to turn it on, all you have to do is just plug it in. You're good to go. You don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah. I made a big mess, though. There's a big mess out there right now. But, you know, sometimes you have to move things around, right? It's been a hard house to live in, honestly. In all the houses I've ever lived in, this is the hardest house. Because of things leaking all the time, right? It doesn't matter. Just leaking. And the wind and the dust, and it's a very dusty yard. And just, I've done a lot of washing. Like, I'm still washing. I've been washing shit. Right. Things get ruined. But it's been a faithful house. That's all I can say. It's been faithful. It's produced a lot of food over the years, this yard. Not when I first moved in, but over the years with me working with it, yeah. And it's going to look real nice in another month or so, in terms of once I use up all this miscellaneous wood. Like, I did a really good job today. I know some people probably don't think so. You know, wasting my time, whatever, you know, I'm sure I'll be getting nattering in my ear that I'm working for nothing. Well, I guess it's all in how you look at it, right? I knew I was going to use this wood at one point. I thought I was going to use it in the henhouse area. I never thought I'd use it in here. But it's pretty fly. And I have enough of that porch covering, which never, ever, ever goes bad, that if I want to, I can, and I still have, what is that stuff called? I don't know where it is, but I can find it. Rubber cement. I have rubber cement that if I wanted to, I could probably glue it on to this one piece and tuck it over this vinyl, and then just, I don't know, run a board over it or something. So anyway, I don't got time to fool around because it's getting dark, so I gotta start just kind of putting things away. One last little look. I think I did a pretty damn good job, people. Considering all things said. Right? This is easy enough. We know it's rat proof. That's all that matters. Right? Nothing, no rats coming in through there. Right? I covered up that with screen. I'll go in through the other side. Now there is that hole, but I can put a board in there, 2x4, nice, something will fit in there, right? And hopefully I won't get a rat in here. And all in all, it's been pretty dry, so I made a big mess. See.